Hi there, my name is William Michael Forbes. I'm a spiritual medium and a channel, and what that is I'm basically a person that can tap into other dimensional beings, my guardian angels, guides, ascended masters, beings from other planets, planetary systems, and I can adjust my consciousness so I can actually hear them. And they asked me today to come through, and I say they because there's a point where I can't tell where one begins and another ends. Sometimes Archangel Michael comes through, other times it's Jesus that comes through, sometimes it is a Mother Mary. It depends on the circumstance and what the message is. Sometimes it's a collective called the Divine Council of Light that comes through. And I have a feeling, that very strong feeling, that's who this is coming through today, that wanted to talk about the foundations of what channeling is and what the Ascension movement is and what the importance of this time in human history is. Collectively speaking and individually speaking, how it is important for you that is watching this right now. And they say I always get a little overexcited when these things come, so they have me speak a little slower so that I don't go over the top, because my energy can really become ungoverned sometimes when I let it. But the fascinating thing that they communicate to me today is that there are key things that everybody needs to understand in terms of being able to communicate or get information outside of what they think they know. They tell me that many of us are so caught up in this thing that we have been taught to think we're supposed to be, this mind, this personality, this mask that we are all given and had put upon us as we're raised from childhood to our present time. And the goal of that life is really to unmask yourself and reveal who you truly are, not only to yourself but to the world, because every single person here has come for a purpose and a reason, and it's very difficult to see clearly when you've got a bunch of stuff in front of your consciousness that prevents you from interacting with the world in the way you naturally would, prevents you from seeing and observing the things that resonate with you, that would give your life value and meaning. And one of the things they said, there is a process of talking to them, connecting to your guides, your angels, these ascended beings that are around all of us at all times, and being able to deliberately and intentionally tap into them when we don't have the answer to a question, when we're not sure what to do. They can offer us guidance from a perspective that's much higher than the ones that we have. Certainly, they've given me guidance from perspectives that are much higher from my position, and I've experienced this many, many, many times. And the very, very first time I experienced being guided, I wasn't really aware that that's what was happening, but it was clear to me that something very strange happened. I was 20 years old, and I was standing on a bridge here in Toronto called the Bloor Viaduct, and I was about to jump off. And as I put my foot out to jump off the bridge, a voice spoke and said, "Don't jump. Get down. Go to the payphone back at the corner. Call this phone number and ask for this man." And the voice gave me a name. And I actually got down off the bridge in shock because I could not see anybody around me. So I got down, I went over to the payphone, I called the number it gave me, and lo and behold, my life was put on a whole new path. And there have been many, many instances in my life where I've been guided like that, where I was placed in awkward situations or different situations where I was inclined or directed or got a hunch about something, and I changed what I was doing. I moved in a different direction based on that. At those times, at that age in my life, I was not aware that these beings were communicating to me as best as they possibly could, given all of the emotional and mental encumbrances, that is the stuff that I had in my mind, that made it difficult for me to hear what they were really saying as clearly as they were saying it, except in instances like that where the voice was very loud and said, "Don't jump." It was very loud. And there are times where it gets very loud, not so much anymore because I listen. But there's a process that over the last few years I've begun to understand that is almost universal for helping a person go from a state of being cut off from these sources of information and energy that are available to all of us. And they want to talk about this. They want to say, this is why these things work. And one of the very first things they say people on this dimension are not aware of is the value of water. People really do not understand the value of water. Look at your oceans, they say. Look at your oceans. Look at your lakes. Look at your rivers. If you truly understand the value of this living energy that moves through your body and all things in this dimensional plane that you're in, if you truly knew the value of it, you would not be so careless with it. You would recognize the need that your body has for it is far greater than what most people recognize. The average physical body, for example, this one here, this body here, needs between 4 and 7 liters of water a day. More if he is working. If he is working in terms of communicating on our behalf. If he is doing physical activity, he needs more fluid to maintain the electrical functionality of his body, and that is the primary function of water in your physical system. It allows the system to function electromagnetically properly. As well, it ensures that things that are needing to be removed from the body are removed effectively and in a timely fashion. Not only that, but water communicates information. The information you have in your body, the information in the water, about how things are going in that part of the world. You actually receive information in water when you take it in. But most people have forgotten the value of water and have turned to other things that do not sustain their body, nor the electrical connectivity. In fact, it causes great pain to the body, which is on loan to you while you're in this physical expression during this lifetime. So hydration, putting fluids in your body in the right volume to maintain the electrical functionality of your form, is critical for learning how to hear us and even learning how to see us. Hydration. You will notice most people, when they get thirsty these days, are drinking what you call coffee. They're drinking alcohol. They're drinking soda pop. They're drinking anything, unaware that the need they really have is to drink water. Their body needs water. And when it's not getting the proper water, when your body's too stimulated to go after sugars and the sensations you get from alcohol, when your body is too stimulated that way, you forget about the need your body naturally has for water, and you just put into it whatever you put into it to get a sensation of something. But the body does not evolve, the body does not transform, the body does not transcend its existing conditions when it does not get the proper fluids. If anything, it degrades, it begins to break down and die far more rapidly than it would live organically when it's provided with the right material. We urge you to consider stepping back and away from those things which do not sustain the proper fluid content in your body, that is the water. Make certain you drink waters that are good for you. I myself drink distilled water remineralized with Celtic sea salt. They also say spring water is very important. Natural water. They say as natural as you can make your water. Water used to be always distilled in this world. You had a natural distillation process in your ecological systems. And those ecological systems have been compromised by toxicity and chemistry that is not natural in this order. And so the waters you get from above and below now are mostly toxic. But there are ways that you can process your water in a healthy and safe way. As this one says, distilled water, purify your water and put the right substances back in to give it its electrical potential. Remineralizing your waters will do this. I use a Celtic sea salt. It's a gray salt you can use, or pink Himalayan sea salt. I've heard people use that. Those are really, really important to remineralize your water. And like I said, I can drink a lot of water in a really short time. And usually when I'm channeling or doing presentations, I do that. We also want you to know, in addition to water, a secondary thing of great value that is sadly lacking in the overall consciousness and physical well-being of humanity is that of living energy foods. High vibrational foods, we call them, which are living energy foods. Living energy foods are any food that is alive and vital with the essence of being. And the essence of being is life. Your fruits, your vegetables are living beings that are here to surrender their energy to you so that you can evolve further. For through you, if your body is healthy, they evolve too. That consciousness that was them becomes a consciousness which is higher in you. And so that surrender is a conscious and deliberate process. But these foods need to be high vibrational. Too many of you are eating foods that are manufactured and processed in such a fashion that the foods, by the time they get to your body, are dead and have little nutritional value at all to them. Even if you add supplements to your diet, it does not compensate for the lack of living vital energy that you get from these living foods. Very important, living foods are high vibrational being consciousness. They will allow you to become pure in here and clean the mechanism up. When you have more life in your body, you'll feel more vital and vibrant. When you have more life, your frequency in your body goes up, the frequency in your consciousness goes up, and we can start to be seen and heard the higher your vibrational frequency is. So be very mindful of the foods that you eat. Be willing to surrender the pleasure of your senses for the pleasure of your vitality. For if you're in a state of true vitality, you will have no need or no desire to put anything into your form that would harm it or damage it. I can talk from my own experience that that for many years I was a heavy drinker. I was like a serious drinker, caffeine, fast foods. I did that for years. And then about 15 years ago, I realized if I didn't start making changes, I would start to have some serious problems. So I began to remove a lot of processed foods from my diet, and I began to increase my vegetable intake. I began to do fresh juices, and I began to increase my vegetable intake, fruit juices, carrot juicing. Juicing became a really big thing for me for a while. And now it's just eating fresh, live food, which is really important. I still juice. I make a daily shake. I take a protein supplement. There's very specific things I put into the body that give it more life. But the key thing for me was when I started juicing carrot juice for the first time, the energy boost I got off carrots was like nothing I'd ever experienced. If you juice up a 5-pound bag of carrot and you drink that juice down, you'll literally get a buzz, because the life force, the life energy in that fresh living food gives you a boost of energy like nobody's business. And I experience that all the time with water now, with the foods that I eat. And food should revitalize you. You shouldn't eat a bunch of food and it takes you down. Food should revitalize you, lift you up. So if you're eating the wrong food, your body's going to go like this, because now it's got to process the toxins, it's got to process anything in there that it doesn't need. It might have to work harder on some foods and other, on vegetables and fruits. Your body doesn't have to work as hard as it does with meats and other things, meats which are not very high vibrational foods. All you're eating another living being. Not only that, you're eating a dead being that was once alive. And that's not a good thing. You know, you're putting dead energy in your body, and your body will have to deal with that dead energy. So they constantly urge people, change your eating habits to high vibrational foods. They're saying it's not a big deal to just take an apple or a few apples or oranges with you. Things that will charge your body up, to bring those with you on your journey, so that you, anytime your energy feels low, you eat an apple. What most of you tend to do is when your energy goes low, you go for sugars, or you go for artificial chemicals like caffeine. You go for things that artificially lift your energy. And then you go back down again, and then you go on a perpetual cycle of these chemicals having to lift your system up and down, and that places stress on your entire organism. Living food will not do this. Living food will vitalize everything and charge it up. Consider living juice foods. They're very good for you. This is a being. This is the voice, because the voice is different from me. So this being's name is Arlena, and she says she was in the body 25 years ago, and it was poor diet that caused her body to create a disease called cancer in order to try and salvage itself. What do you mean salvage itself? She's saying that cancer is the body's way of trying to process carbon dioxide when there's not enough oxygenation and proper nutrition in the system. The cancer cells try to consume those things that you're putting in that damage it. She says, it wasn't until I left my body and connected with other beings that I began to learn the value of proper nutritional eating. And I share this knowledge with you now because it is time. There is no other time. This is the time to awaken yourself, to understand the value in this information that you're receiving so that you can make a proper transition from living from a place of survival to expressing a purposeful being that contributes to the overall wellness of humanity as a whole. And every single human being on this planet was intended this way. It is not something that's exclusive to one or another. It is a universal principle that all aspects of consciousness have purposeful living behind their being. Always purposeful living behind their being. You want to say anything else on that? You say, no, I think they got the idea. But she said, I'll add this, that most of your diseases come from bad food. Most of your diseases come from bad food and bad habits, what you put in. Stop it. Stop it so that you can revitalize. There is still time. There's always still time. If there's life in your body, you can change the process from negative to positive. That is all. Wow. So I'm going to recap what they've said. So the two key things they just said are hydration and high vibrational foods. Fascinating. I'm just they come around, so I'm asking who's here right now. I've got, I'm not sure if it's Archangel Michael or Metatron here that wants to speak about the third part of the foundation of channeling. And it's okay. So they're going to take a different turn here. I've got Archangel Michael coming in first to say this. Meditation is a doorway that you must open by choice. It will not open by itself. Each and every one of you that I work with, and I am with many of you, but you must open the door to meditation by choice. Meditation is your willingness to step outside of the limited self and begin to embrace and extend your awareness into the greater self, into the greater relationships with myself and many other beings that await working with you in this dimension at this time. This is an ascension process, and it must be undertaken deliberately and intentionally, and learning to still this mechanism you're in so that your consciousness opens up and you receive from us information of great value that's relative to the conditions of your life, to your relationships, to your work, to your happiness. There are beings on other levels that would contribute to your suffering if you choose to resonate on that frequency, which is why we bring this information to you today. So I say to you in all sincerity, it is important that you open the door to meditation. Meditation allows you to step outside of your little self to the self that is grand, the self that is connected to all, the self that would do no harm, the self that operates at all points of time and space and non-time and space from a perspective of love and joy and bliss. That all actions are calculated from love, not from fear. In the little self that many of you are trapped in, you make many of your decisions from fear. And it is our desire to see that you make decisions from a place of love, not fear. But many of you can't even make the distinction that you are operating from fear or that you're operating from love because you're so caught up in the noise of this thing called your mind, the personality, the mask that you were given. And we are around you, and you merely have to ask us, what can I do to still my mind? What can I do to begin to make things better and quieter and more peaceful within me? We will offer suggestions, hints, and inclinations to you. But in order for you to hear them, it's important that you cultivate a level of sensitivity that allows us to be heard by you and felt by you and even seen by you. For we are seen by many, we are heard by many more, and we are felt by still more. But as this process of awakening happens on such a grand scale on this planet, you will begin to realize that you have never been alone at all in all of creation at any point of your expression or experience. And that I am with you, as are many others, awaiting you to open the door to communications. And that communication is always here, always now. And I await you. I await you calling on my name, Archangel Michael. And I will respond to you. I'm telling him he's being a little too serious. He's saying, no, I'm not. This is really important. Really important. He says, this is serious, but this is coming from a place of love, not a serious place of fear, but a serious place of love. And he says it's important to make a distinction between fear and love. If you can hear my words truly, then you will know that I come from this place, because I love and respect all. This is what it means to be an angel. This is what it means to be godly. Love and respect for all. Wow. Okay. He's saying that if you just sit in silence for even 15 minutes a day, learn to turn this off and breathe your body, you will come closer to hearing us. You will come closer to hearing us. You'll become more aware. Saying you'll become much, much more aware. Okay. Wow. Okay, I got Metatron coming in. He's pushing down from behind on me. And he's a little bit more forceful than Archangel Michael. He's saying, when you learn to step out of this limited self through meditation, there are dimensions of knowledge and information available to all of you in all levels of the spectrum of consciousness in this human plane. There is science and knowledge and wisdom available that can only be found when you can step outside of the limited self. But you cannot step outside of the limited self unless you choose to step outside of it. That requires that you be willing to step out of it. And how do you do this? You do this by closing your eyes. You do this by closing your mind. You do this by breathing and sending the body into a state of deep relaxation. And then you begin to sense and become aware of the energies that are around you at all times, of which you're mostly not aware unless you shift your perception through this method we are suggesting. So I tell you to get out of the little self and begin to tap into and access that knowledge, that information that you seek to solve the problems that you think you have, which are merely opportunities to tap into us and your higher self and the aspects of your being that have not these troubles, but have only solutions and growth and opportunity. You will access dimensional beings. You will access love on a scale you've never experienced before. But you must step outside the fearful self, the old you, into the new you. Open the door. He's saying, like Michael did, open the door to meditation. Only you can do this. Open the door. Yeah, meditation's pretty cool. I've been doing it, I meditate up to from anywhere from 1 to 3 hours a day, and I get a lot more done. When your mind isn't in the way, when my mind isn't in the way, I get tons more done. When your mind is not in the way, you'll see things, you'll hear things, you'll do things very differently. You'll get more sensitive to things being in a certain order. You get more sensitive to how you feel. You get more sensitive to the things that you're required to do, and you'll just do them. Because you'll be coming from a place of knowing, if I don't do this, it's going to make a mess. If I don't finish that job, it's not going to get done. I'll end up with a pile of dishes or whatever. You learn to start doing everything that's right in front of you to do when you're not attached to the old self, the fearful self that that avoids doing things for various reasons, which we're not going to get into right now. But we're going to continue to explore this other aspect of being able to tap into your divine team. What are the fundamental building blocks of being able to channel, to connect to your divine guidance? It's a fascinating thing. And the fourth pillar that they gave to us, or foundational block, whatever you want to call it, the fourth aspect that they gave us was sensing energy, learning to sense energy. And sensing energy, especially during this time in human consciousness with the huge amounts of gamma radiation coming from the sun and the ascension process in motion. The ascension process I won't get into right now. They said we'll do another video on it. Okay, we'll do another video on that, this process of ascension, so you're more clear and concise on what it actually is. But a lot of these energies coming are changing our neurobiology. They're changing our physical structure, are being changed. Our consciousness is being raised up. There are frequencies of consciousness that are coming into us, around us, and through us that are far higher than we've ever experienced before. And these things cause symptoms in your body. Like sometimes you get pressure on the head, ears. You'll feel your ears moving. You feel pressure on your chest. You can feel suddenly like heat or temperature changes around you. You can feel hot flashes. Like right now when they're coming through, I'm feeling like lots of rushing energy, like sparkly energy coming down through my body. And I feel a lot of heat up in my chest area. And so I can feel when it's Archangel Michael, because it's more refined. It's a more refined flow of energy from him versus Metatron, where the energy is more forceful, more like a stream of energy versus like sparkles of energy from Michael. Or when I'm hearing truth or wisdom, I get it shivers right through my whole body. And if you're not sensitive to the signals like that, you're not going to be able to know when these beings are trying to communicate with you. I didn't know until I started suddenly becoming aware. Oh, wait a minute, I'm feeling this pressure on my back. I'm feeling something pushing me from the side. And so you learn to start sensing energies. And in order to sense energies, you have to learn to be able to quiet your mind, still things down. Yeah. They're saying that these are the four key elements to being able to actually connect with us and respond to us and hear the wisdom we have to offer you. All you need to do is step out of your way with these methods. Purify your body with proper water, with high vibrational foods. Those are the fundamental things. Learn to meditate, to quiet your mind, so that you can hear beyond what your ears hear and see beyond what your eyes see. And then sense us, for when you are clear, you will hear and feel us. And many of you do hear and feel us, but often misunderstand us. You get a ringing in the ear, and we're trying to speak with you, and you're not listening. Sometimes you're in a very difficult situation, and you feel a sudden wave of energy, and we're trying to speak with you. And if you could learn to listen and hear what the messages we pass on to you are, you could save yourself a lot of time and troubles. As we have saved this one a lot of time and trouble, as he's learned to listen more and more and more over the years. So we encourage you to learn to do these things. Yeah, I know that. Wow, this is an amazing video, and I'm really grateful I got a chance to do this. They mentioned this to me last night. Was the first time they talked about it. They brought through, these are the four primary things that you need to share with people for them to begin to make the transition from being self-absorbed to being expanded conscious beings, where they get a chance to expand self into the greater self that they actually are. They're very clear about that. Every one of us is so much more than we realize, but we get so caught up in this little self, and I know I was for years when I was into drinking and drugs and partying. I was caught up in this little self. What was in life for me? What was I going to get? And then when I began to listen, I began to help other people. I began to go into coaching and work with young offenders, and I began to do lots of other things to help people. And then when they started saying, you have to start sharing the knowledge that we have through you to others, I've embraced that too. And it's different because you have to step outside and step beyond your personal boundaries, your normal safety zones. Which most people are reluctant to do. If you're not willing to step outside of your boundaries of fear, you're not going to learn anything new. You're not going to experience anything. You're going to experience the same stuff different day. And I cannot tell you how many years of my life I spent doing the same stuff different day that I wish I had those years back. Don't waste your life. They are here waiting for you to take your purpose in hand, to identify what it is, what gives your life meaning and value, and then to translate that into an action, into meaningful action that will enrich the lives of other people. So I hope this video's been enjoyable to you and been informative. Yep. I will. They're saying I need to talk about the courses that we're teaching, which is a course called Mediumship 101 course, and that starts on the 15th of June. And it's $150 US, and we have a process for training you in all of these different facets, a highly structured step-by-step process that takes you from a place of being just caught up in your stuff and moves you to becoming more conscious and responsible for your happiness, your joy, and your well-being. You can look in the comment section below this video if you want to get more information about the course, because there's a lot in the course that I don't have the time to explain here, but there's a lot of information in the course. All of what we've discussed today gets taught in the course. You get a chance to actually practice listening to your guides. You get to work with other students, other mediums. There's a total of 7 mediums in the 3-week course, and I really hope you'll come and join us there. If you've liked this video and it's touched a place in your heart, please subscribe to my channel, like the video, share it, and if you've got any other questions or concerns, you want to register for the course, go to williammichaelforbes.com and you can register for the course there. But I want to say thank you very much for taking the time to join me today. And yeah, watch this video again, because just those changes, hydration, high vibrational foods, those 2 things are so important. Meditation, sensing energies, those 4 fundamental tools, if you develop those skill sets, will revolutionize your life. There's just so much incredible good inside who you are right now, and if you can't see it right now, it's there. I promise you it's there, and you just have to unpackage it. Find a course, mentors, teachers, tools, books. Find anything that will help you get outside of what you know into something different, so you can shift your life into the magical, wondrous expression that the Creator intended it to be. And again, I want to thank you for coming today. Much love to all of you, and bye for now.